Welcome to summer and
July.
Well,
And
we
this
record on the 13th and we put it out on the 15th. So
Yes.
This is July 13th. It's been hot, and we are enjoying a most beautiful day. So last year, I think we recorded in the gazebo quite a few times. So, but I think this is our first one. And obviously my hair is wet because there's been some swimming today.
And there's no horseshoes or lawn mowing at the moment.
No, nothing at the moment. So
we're
we'll
lucky.
see.
So this
And
is
behind us,
episode...
there's construction. So it's a good thing that's not happening today either. So anyway, we're at episode 140 of No Room for Phonies. And today we're looking at the book. It's called The Untethered Soul, The Journey Beyond Yourself by Michael A. Singer. And
it starts with a quote.
Yeah, the whole book actually starts with this quote.
William Shakespeare.
This above all, to thine own self be true, and it must follow, as the night the day, thou canst not then be false to any man. William Shakespeare. So basically, if you are
true to
yourself, you'll be true to others. So
yeah, if you want to maintain honest relationships with others, we must first be true to ourselves.
So he talks a lot about the inner dialogue and the inner voice inside your head.
Yeah, he spends quite a while on helping you walk through the recognition of when it's just your inner voice versus your spirit or your soul.
Yeah. So the voice inside your head is the mental dialogue that literally never stops. And so he's suggesting that we need to step back and view that objectively.
Mm-hmm.
So there's nothing more important to true growth than realizing that you are not the voice of the mind. You are the one who hears it.
Yeah. So it's a little weird to be thinking, oh, I'm hearing myself speak to myself, but that's not myself. That's my voice.
Right. And the truth is that most of life will unfold in accordance with forces that are far outside your control, regardless of what is going on in your head.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it can be simple that you're walking down the street and a car drives by and your mind starts thinking about, oh, what make of car is it and what's the color and all of that has nothing to do.
Who's driving it? Oh, I think that's a friend of mine that's driving it. So, it's just whatever. So most thoughts have no relevance. They're just trying to make you feel better or worse about what's going on now, what happened in the past, or what might happen in the future. And the real problem is not life. It's the commotion the mind makes about life that really causes the problems.
Right. Going back to like the car driving down the street, you could think, oh my goodness, they're going to have an accident. Oh no. And get all stressed about it. But actually, whatever your mind is thinking about the accident, it's not going to necessarily happen. It's because it's out of your control.
And so if you're participating in true personal growth, it's about transcending the part of you that is not okay and is always needing protection from your mind. So you need to be constantly aware that you are the one inside that notices the voice talking, and you come to know the one who watches the voice, and you will come to know one of the great mysteries of creation. So that is yourself.
Yeah. I think it's a long-term process and project.
He says through it. He says through it that it's a lifelong project.
Yes, but some people don't start till
well, it's just whenever
in life. Yeah.
Whenever you decide that you don't want to live with this commotion in your brain anymore, right?
It is interesting. I'd love to ask him. There are a few people in the world that don't have that constant stream of conscious thinking. They actually, if they're not
what
talking
are they, rapists or something?
No.
Or, like, if you don't have a stream of consciousness.
There's people that are born, the brain doesn't do that. Like they literally don't have a thought until they need to do something. They don't have an inner conversation. It's very it's a syndrome. They haven't labeled
pathological?
Well, it's genetic.
Okay.
I don't know.
I've never heard of that. I can't
people.
Imagine not having a stream of consciousness.
Well, if you
don't have a stream,
they have a very flat life. Like they don't really think about much.
So your inner growth is completely dependent upon the realization that the only way to find peace and contentment is to stop thinking about yourself.
To attain true inner freedom, you must be able to watch your problems instead of being lost in them. The first problem you have to deal with is your own reaction. The only permanent solution to your problems is to go inside and let go of the part of you that seems to have so many problems with reality, and then reclaim your life.
So who are you? I'm the one that sees. From back in here somewhere, I look out and I'm aware of events and thoughts and emotions that kind of pass before me. And the great mystery begins once you take that seat within.
What differentiates a conscious, centered being from a person who is not so conscious is simply the focus of their awareness. Your awareness of being is independent of the inner and outer objects you happen to be aware of.
Yeah. So when you contemplate the nature of self, you are meditating, and it is returning to the root of your being, the awareness of being aware.
Very meta.
Very meta. The world around you keeps changing, but there's no sense of that being a problem.
Mm-hmm. You just watch the world change without freaking
And so
out.
the more you are willing to just let the world be something you are aware of, the more it will let you be who you are. And that awareness, the self, the Atman, the soul, ask who you are ceaselessly and constantly. And so it's a constant state of meditation. And he's not saying that you don't speak into what's happening in the world.
No,
or that you don't confront or deal with
it's
it.
not about that.
It's the state of where you come from when you do that.
Right. And our mind, when our mind sees an object or has a thought, we're often reacting at the lizard brain, like that fight, flight, or fright.
Yeah.
So that when we have fight, flight, or fright, that's a body reaction and a brain reaction, but it doesn't have to be us, the deep inner us, that's having the reaction.
Right. So consciousness is one of the great mysteries of life, and then inner energy is another. And he talks a lot about the whole energy of what makes us think, feel, and act. So everything inside that happens inside requires an expenditure of energy.
Creating thoughts, holding on to our thoughts, recalling thoughts, generating emotions, controlling emotions, and disciplining powerful inner drives all require a tremendous expenditure of energy.
And so this energy does not come from food or sleep or exercise. It's just always inside. And when you are filled with this energy, you feel like you can take on the world. And if you block the energy by closing your heart or your mind, like the chakras in yoga, yogurt, yes, this is spiritual energy. It's unlimited. And we often open or close based on our experiences, which makes sense. But we can train ourselves to simply stay open. And I know you said, simply stay open.
Yeah, not very simple.
Because when someone goes at you or rejects you or something, then you just want to close.
Yes.
And so you have to make the constant choice with the energy inside you to stay open.
Mm-hmm. I do think that, when we're hangry or when we're tired, there is an impact on not this energy, but just the ability to get out of that fatigue.
Absolutely.
And I don't think it's, I know the energy's there, but I still think that the energy from food and sleep still plays a part in all of this.
I do too. I don't think it's quite as simple as saying you don't get it from eating, sleep. I think when your body is healthy, when you're eating properly, when you're not gorging on chocolate and chips and crappy food and McDonald's and all that stuff.
I like chocolate and chips.
I had chips today. But then I do think there's a connection too.
Mm-hmm.
So, but
he writes, embrace life with all your soul and heart. Pay attention when you feel love and enthusiasm, and choose that openness instead of closing down. When you stay open, your energy builds. When it builds, it flows out of you. When you open, you bring more energy into the system and it can heal.
Right. So our heart becomes blocked by stored unfinished energy patterns from our past.
Yes.
And that is where, if you're worried about somebody or you've had a conversation with someone and you don't feel
it's over
or it's still in your mind, then those are the kinds of things that we need to take things in, experience them, and let them pass through us so that we can be fully present in the next moment. So when somebody says, oh, this is happening and it's not bothering me, I think they're missing the point here, because, there's no way that some things cannot bother you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to let them in, let them,
unless they're saying they've done this process, and then it's out of their system.
Yes.
But
things that don't pass through you are pushed out to the forefront of your mind and held there until you're ready to release them and deal with them, right?
So ignoring a problem or not having an uncomfortable conversation is not the same thing, because it's still there in the back of your mind.
Because if you don't let events pass through you or deal with them, is the other word, they stay inside you and then they do become problematic. So enjoy life instead of clinging to these problems or pushing things away. And so just let each moment center you and change you. And if you slip, like you were saying, how do you just do that? Then you just get back up, because it doesn't matter. You just keep letting go. And
there's no scorecard and there's no judgment.
No. And then he talks about fear, and he says our major struggles are with our inner fears, insecurities, and destructive behavior patterns, not outside forces. So when you close down and protect yourself by not dealing with things, you're pulling a shell around the part of you that is weak, and that's your ego.
Right. When you protect yourself, you are never free and you never grow. When your thoughts start, you do not have to go with them.
If you have a thought or feeling, if you feed it, it becomes infused with energy. If you don't let it go, it can completely get out of control. And I think it
can be very draining.
And I think we've all
energy.
experienced that, right? Yeah. Where you just ruminate over something over and over and over again. So the wise person remains centered enough to let go every time the energy shifts into defensive mode. And I want to say that sentence again, because I think that is so important. A wise person remains centered enough to let go every time the energy shifts into defensive mode.
That's where the awareness of being aware comes in, because you can be aware that you're sliding into defensive mode.
And you can reflect and say, hey, I made a mistake here. I shouldn't, you can take responsibility and be accountable for your actions, but you have to take a moment of conscious effort and decide not to go into that defensiveness, because your consciousness is always stronger than anything that is pulling on it if you use it.
The natural ups and downs of life can either generate personal growth or personal fears. Change is the very nature of life. We've said that before. You can't stop change. No. Change is the only constant. As you grow spiritually, you will realize that your attempts to protect yourself from your problems actually creates more problems. It's kind of like you tell a lie and then you have to back up all those lies. This isn't even about lying. You just start protecting yourself and then it just spirals. The purpose of spiritual evolution is to remove the blockages that cause your fear and trap you. So
he talks about, and remember, this is a synopsis of the book. He gives all kinds of examples and everything so this is for you to delve in. So avoid negative cycles. Let things pass through you and let go. Turn your eyes upward and relax your heart. If you fall, just get up and forget about it, and don't waste your time beating yourself up about things. We have all these things where we say, mistakes are growth and don't worry and and we go on and on and on about it. But yet when we do make mistakes, or when somebody makes a mistake, then we want to drag them through the gutter or drag ourselves through.
Yeah. So it's interesting, without judgment is a key phrase that's been hitting me because of the sessions I'm doing with my business coach.
Right.
Because one of the things we start with is a yoga practice at the beginning of every session. And the first thing is to sit still and then just kind of scan your body and think, okay, what are my feet doing? What are my calves doing? What are my knees doing? And then he says, if you feel something tight or sore or uncomfortable, just recognize that it's there, but don't have judgment and don't tell yourself a story, which I thought is so interesting. So it's not about, that's where I work. That's where I worked too hard shoveling the snow and now I have a sore back. It's not, so that's telling yourself a story.
Yeah.
Or it's I didn't do exercise. Now I'm stiff. So that's a judgment. It's you're supposed to just recognize what it is and then keep going without judging, because we tend to beat ourselves up. Go on a spiritual journey, embrace constant transformation, and give up the struggle to remain the same.
Because it is a struggle. And I always say about atheism and agnostic or whatever, that kind of behavior, to me, that's a struggle against what's natural. Like, I don't care what your spiritual journey is. I don't care what you believe. I don't care where you are in your life. But saying you believe in nothing or everything is a struggle to me.
Yeah.
So you learn to embrace the change that happens all the time, and don't build your whole life. I like this sentence. Don't build your whole life around protecting your thorns. Do not doubt your ability to remove the root cause of whatever the disturbance is inside of you.
So if you've ever had a splinter in really thick skin, like at the bottom of your feet, or I don't know, a knuckle of your thumb, something like that, where the splinter takes 3 to 4 weeks to get pushed out because the body naturally works it out of the skin. That whole process of building a really tough casing of skin around the splinter so that it can then push it out, it's suggesting don't do that. That's protecting your thorns.
Yeah. The prerequisite to true freedom is to decide that you do not want to suffer anymore. And you must decide that you want to enjoy your life and that there is no reason for stress or inner pain or fear. And do not bear burdens that you do not need to bear.
But somebody's going to say stress happens and there is going to be pain and there is things that cause fear.
Yes, but that's, if you think about what he said before, you let that go pass through you and you let it pass through you, though. You don't hang on to it.
Right.
You deal with it.
And you don't deny it either. Self-consciousness, jealousy, and insecurity and anxiety, all those 4 activities or behaviors are all stem from fear. The signs of the psyche breaking are underlying fear and incessant neurotic thought.
So if you are constantly worrying about yourself, you're suffering. External changes do not solve internal problems. So and that's what I think he's saying.
So going on a vacation isn't going to solve it. You're going to carry it with you if you have.
And I think that's what he's saying about food and exercise and whatever. You can do all that and do all that and do all that, but if you're still not dealing with it, you have to deal with it. So in order to be okay, you just have to be okay with life. And my favorite sentence, right? It is what it is. It happened to me, and doesn't mean that I'm not sad or upset or pissed off or whatever it is that I am, but then you give yourself a reality check and you don't get involved in melodrama.
Even your own melodrama in your own head.
Yes.
We must come to peace with pain in order to experience true spiritual growth and deep personal transformation. So change involves challenging what is familiar to us and daring to question our traditional needs for safety, comfort, and control, especially control.
Yes, get perspective, spend time in nature. Do not spend your life avoiding pain. Choose freedom. Be comfortable with whatever happens, because if you fear pain, you don't live in the moment because you're constantly trying to avoid pain, like rejection or death or problems. So pain and problems are just a thing in the universe, and they're always temporary.
Yep. So be at peace with pain and let the disturbance pass through you, feel it, and then move forward. Don't store pain inside you.
You can feel things at a deep level. You just don't have to live there.
Another suggestion is to break down the walls of everything you think should happen. Strive for enlightenment. So do not defend your fortress. Do not block the light. The journey out is true enlightenment is on the other side of the walls you build with your thoughts, feelings, fears, emotions, etc.
So he goes, it's a very long chapter, that one, but he talks about like actually building a house with walls with no light in them.
Oh, I remember the whole long analogy. Yeah, it's very good.
There's a lot. Spirituality is going beyond. Keep going past the limits that you put on things. Stop trying to control. Stop trying to make the unknown known. Do not try to make the world fit your model. Don't fight the things that happen that challenge how you view things. The model of life that you have built is tenuous, and it can fall apart at any moment. We've learned that, have we not? Over and over again.
Over and over again. Do not try to stay within your comfort zone. There are some things you just cannot fix, especially when they have to do with other people. You can devote your life to staying within your comfort zone, or you can work on your freedom.
You can say what you think. You can freely express yourself. You don't have to stay on top of everything to be okay. Spirituality is the commitment to go beyond whatever it takes, and we need to relax and lean into our edges.
Yeah, I really like that.
I like that idea.
Idea for sure. Go ahead.
When you live spiritual, you do not participate in struggle. You do not cling. Everything that happens in the moment just belongs to that moment, and you do not define yourself in relation to what happens. You honor the disturbance that's inside you, and then you let it go. And I'm not saying that all happens within 30 seconds.
Not necessarily, no.
Like, we've had some experiences where it takes you a day or two to get over it.
Mm-hmm.
I had an experience that took me 6 months to get over.
Yeah.
So, and it doesn't mean like, oh, okay, I've done the disturbance inside me and now I've let it go. It's been 10 seconds since it happened, so that's it. It will be painful to undo the facade, to face a fuller existence, and to move outside the fortress that protects you. You become aware, you transcend, you go through to the other side of your inner turmoil, and you let go of the tendency to cling. You decide and take the journey by constantly letting go, and you don't feed the dark psyche, and then you become filled with light. You float in peace and love and compassion beyond it all, and still honor what happens in the world. Well, that is, like, to me, that is the ultimate way to live. You give yourself time to deal with something, but there's a moment then when it's like, okay,
yeah,
I've got to pass through this. I've got to
let it go.
Like, I was very disturbed and upset by what happened in Texas.
Yes.
I was a camp counselor. I did a lot of camp counseling, and I really felt that.
I came home and you were upset, but you didn't tell me what was bothering you. It was just eating you up, but it really...
But
I mean, eventually you told me what was going on, and then I was like, oh, okay, now I understand.
Like, that was a deep disturbance.
But it took you more than a day to work through that.
Yeah, it was very... and I mean, I wasn't even suffering.
No.
It was just and that's where things from the past...
Yep.
Are still there in your minds, that idea that I had to protect those kids and how those people would have felt. And I don't think it's a bad thing to feel that deeply. I just don't, you can't stay there.
No.
So the highest spiritual path is life itself.
Do you want to find joy? You are responsible, or we are responsible for our own joy. You cannot qualify joy. I will be joyful if or when blank, blank, blank happens. If you create conditions like that, it's going to limit your joy.
And he talks about happiness, and I talk about joy, because I say happiness is an ice cream cone. If you decide that joy is your path, it will lead to enlightenment. And I'm talking about sort of that deep-seated joy that, is there, the good with the bad, the whatever, but you never, like, your joy is at a certain level, and sometimes it goes like this and sometimes it goes like this, but it's never like this.
It's never totally down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Decide you will not break your vow to stay in a state of joy and hope. Things will happen, and you can't say, I didn't know this would happen, and then you transcend and you let go the part of you that wants to create melodrama.
Right. Committing yourself to spiritual joy will teach you every single thing there is to learn about yourself, about others, and about the nature of life. No matter what happens, just enjoy the life that comes to you. No matter what happens to you, do not close yourself off and stay open. If you slip up, get back up. Remember, all you want is peace and to appreciate life.
I really like the whole thing that Angel, who is Zachary's partner, said about mental peace. She doesn't call it mental health. She calls it mental peace. And, and then he talks here about meditation strengthens your center of consciousness so that you're always aware enough to not allow your heart to close. You pass through trial by fire. You are thoroughly convinced that you will let go no matter what. You will be open to inner joy, and your cup runneth over. Not every single minute, but it will run
I think it brings hope to think, so a really rough thing is happening to you, but if you say to yourself, okay, I'm going through a really rough thing, but it will end, and I will come out
everything
on the
ends.
other side.
Yes.
Yeah.
The path of using life to evolve spiritually is truly the highest path. It is the process of simply being present. Don't resist or push against experiences. How you deal with energy flow has a major effect on your life. Become aware, use life to let go of impressions and the stress they create.
Let your spiritual path become the willingness to let whatever happens make it through you, rather than carrying it into the next moment. You can still deal with things just from a place of clarity, not from a place of inner resistance and tension.
That's a really important statement,
Yeah.
because when we're all upset and we deal, but then, if you take time to reflect and then you go back at something, then you're using
clarity.
Yes.
Yeah.
Allow life to unfold and interact with it in a natural and rational manner.
Mm-hmm.
Letting go of yourself is the simplest way to get closer to others. Relax. Let the disturbing energies pass through. Deep inner release is a spiritual path, the path of non-resistance, acceptance, and surrender. It is the work of a lifetime to become that open, that complete, and that whole.
Yeah. I'm thinking of a few, I can't think of a name, but maybe it was in a movie, of just like a grandmother type or grandpa like person, just accepting the grandkids exactly how they are.
It tears me up, but I'm just thinking of the pictures and videos that we're getting from India
of
Zachary meeting Angel's grandfather and him blessing him and accepting them, and the two of them walking together and Zachary trying to speak his language.
Yeah.
He just seems like a very spiritually aware, he seems like he's worked through these things in his life.
Right.
Right.
So it's just for him, it seems to be easier just for him to connect to somebody without all the barriers.
It is the work of a lifetime to become that open, that complete, and that whole. Events are exciting, challenging, and create tremendous growth. Your heart and mind must be open and expansive enough to encompass reality. Learn to stop resisting reality, and what used to look like problems will begin to look like stepping stones on your spiritual journey.
Sorry, I moved the screen.
That's okay. I was able to keep reading.
One of the greatest teachers in all of life turns out to be death. Great fun. Death.
Sorry, did you read this chapter?
This might be the chapter I
you
skipped.
did not read. Death instantly makes us all the same. The mere possibility of death has the power to teach us.
Well, I experienced this with my cancer diagnosis.
Yeah.
So
a wise person totally embraces the reality, the inevitability, and the unpredictability of death. And it shouldn't take death to challenge you to live at your highest level, because we take people for granted. We take time to look at all the things you think, and he says in this, take time to look at everything that you think you need.
Are you bold enough to reflect on how you're living? Do not be afraid to discuss death. Use the knowledge to help you to live every moment of your life fully. The beauty of embracing deep truths is that you don't have to change your life. You just change how you live your life. Be fully present without being afraid of what is going to happen in the next moment. Become bolder and more open. Death gives meaning to life. We fear death because we crave life, but death is the ultimate reality of life. Reminds me of that book we read before we got married.
Yeah.
There was that whole chapter on thinking all like the till death do us part of the vow.
Yeah.
And actually thinking about the whole thing.
Yeah. Like every moment that you're living together is one moment closer to when
you're not.
So, I mean,
sorry.
It sounds
I
morbid,
shouldn't laugh,
but it's.
I think it's because.
And then he talks about the middle way. This is the place where there is no energy pushing in either direction. Everything is in balance. Forces balance quietly, peaceful harmony, and center all your energies on the path, and then you don't swing sideways. And he talks about not wasting your energy on extremes because it is inefficient and it makes you stay stuck and nothing moves forward, which is very evident with what's happening in the States.
Yeah.
They're extreme, and even in Canada, we have these extremes, and what's happening? Nothing's moving forward.
Exactly.
Because all we do in Parliament or anywhere that we are supposed to be making decisions is yell at each other and fight, because we're so extreme. And so it's being present in each moment then becomes your natural state. Life is simple. Everything moves quietly through the center balance. The balance point is not static. It's a dynamic equilibrium point. And he talks about like a sailboat.
Yeah.
Where
it's moving.
balanced.
The center of balance is always moving.
But that's what keeps it balanced.
Yeah.
Do not get lost in extremes. Find the way of the center, the balance, and then the harmony. So, and then he does this whole thing about drifting up. And I think of God and spirituality.
Right.
Like drifting up, letting go of anger and fear or self-consciousness, not feeling resentment toward people.
Don't close up or get tight. Things happen that you don't want to happen, but they don't touch you as much. Center on the spiritual part of your being. Release the physical, emotional, and mental aspects of your being and walk the path toward God.
Love, non-judgmentalism, respect, cherish, honor. Knowing God comes from experiencing Him through meditation, letting go, embracing past wrongs and current shortcomings. So embracing humanness.
Yep. Love becomes unconditional. Guilt and fear are the results of not experiencing divine love. It's interesting because so much religiosity instills guilt and fear.
Yes.
Whereas
if you follow these rules, if you don't follow these rules, if you're not of this faith,
drawing closer, drifting up to God, actually, there should not be guilt and fear.
Divine love keeps shining whether you stay in the darkness or not. And I thought that was God is in ecstasy when he looks at his creation, whether we're looking at him or not.
Right.
And I know that for people that maybe are listening to this that don't believe in God, like, I don't know, we have had this discussion a lot of times. We know a lot of people who, have chosen atheism or whatever.
Agnosticism.
Whatever. I can't say it. And you believe in helping humanity. Like, I don't judge it. I can't make that choice.
Mm-hmm.
I have to have a spiritual aspect of me, and whether that is Buddhism, Hinduism, whatever kind of thing that you believe, I think that what lifts you up is the spiritual part of you, body, mind, spirit. Yep. I do think that there is something to be said for that.
Well, because everything else,
and he actually, I think
everything else is has an end.
Well, and he also has the lowercase g for God.
Yes.
Like, he's not saying it has to be
he or she or
God or Catholicism or Protestantism or any of that.
No.
It's just the spiritual rising of your soul.
Yeah. So
anyway, it's a great book. I would really encourage anyone to read it, even if you don't believe in God. It's not what it's about.
No.
It's about the inner journey. So on July 30th, we are going to, like, part of this whole thing, I think, of the spiritual journey is that you have then a better impact on the world. And
because you're not wrapped up in the melodrama.
And yourself.
Yeah.
So and I think there are a lot of things happening in these times that are scary and terrible. I don't think that they're any more scary or terrible than other times in history.
We just all know about them more.
We know more about it. So we want to have an influence and we want to make a difference.
So the next episode, we're going to look at top 10 activists who've made a difference and had an impact.
Yeah, you're going to do your 10 and I'm going to do my 10.
So it's 10 plus because we might not have the same ones.
Might be 20. But I'm just saying, and I'm going to, scour the internet and think about authors that I've read and people that I really think have been influential in really actually having an impact. So that's what we're going to do next. So thanks for joining us. This is a little deeper topic, so I hope you jump in and listen to The Untethered Soul and then maybe pick up the book and read it for yourself.
Yep. And it's non-religious focused, non-denominational. It is kind of...
Yeah, he doesn't get into really any
multi-faith.
religion.
It's not one religion.
Yeah.
So really it can be up for everybody to read.
So thanks for joining us on No Room for Phonies, The
Episode.
Untethered Soul episode.
Episode 140. Great ending. Well, click on subscribe and set your settings to get
and
all
take
updates.
a look at the blog because it's been updated.
Yes, the blog has been updated. We have a new logo and a new About Us page.
Yeah.
And a new look.
Yeah, it looks a lot better. All right.
Okay.
Enjoy summer.